Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Don't know where you are in the world, but wherever you are, hello, hello, hello. My name is Rachel Dolstein, and I am the chair of the Jamaica Diaspora Worldwide Organization Task Force. And every Wednesday, we premiere an interview with an amazing, amazing, amazing Jamaican doing amazing, amazing work in Jamaica or somewhere in the diaspora. So today I am so excited to have Miss Barbara Hawkins, Dr. Barbara Hawkins, who will be with me today talking about the Jamaican American Association of Central Florida, also known as JAACF. So we'll probably be using that acronym throughout the recording because saying the whole thing, you guys always hear me say it every week. These names are so long, we'll use acronyms, right? So we'll say JDWAT, for Jamaica Diaspora Worldwide Organization Task Force, and we will say JAACF for Jamaican American Association of Central Florida. So thank you all so much for tuning in today and joining us for another episode of Jam Talk. Hi, Barbara, how are you?
Hello, Rachel. I am doing well in the sunshine state of Florida, even though it's raining a little bit now on the Sunday afternoon.
I'm sure Florida is always beautiful, even in the wintertime. It is always a beautiful, beautiful place. So, Barbara, tell us about you, where you're from in Jamaica, a little bit about yourself, and what your current role is in this organization.
Okay, I'm Barbara Hawkins, and I was born at the Victoria Jubilee Hospital in Jamaica. So that makes me Kingstonian by birth. I have lived in Kingston and St. Andrew in the corporate area. I am an educator, started out in that manner, went to Michael Teachers College, University of the West Indies, and I taught at two different schools, prep school and high school in Jamaica. After migrating to the United States, I did my master's at the University of Central Florida here in Central Florida, and I did specialist degree and later my doctorate degree. And I was saying earlier that I am blessed to have received the highest certification given to any teacher in the United States, and that is the National Board Certified Teacher.
Wow, congratulations.
So that was an honor for me.
That's awesome.
I'm still involved in education professionally. I have not worked in the classroom for a number of years, but the work that I do impacts what happens in the classroom. So I feel honored to continue working in education because I believe in education as a vehicle for helping people better their life.
Absolutely. And so now at JAACF, what is your role with the organization?
Yeah. I am now the president of the Jamaican American Association of Central Florida. Actually, it is JAAOCF.
Oh.
We squeeze in that O. So it is JAAOCF.
OCF, okay.
If you're looking for us on the web, we are JAAOCF.com. Okay. Yeah, my role is now president, but I have served in this organization in various roles. I was vice president twice. I've served as secretary. I was a chair of the scholarship committee. I served as public relations in so many different capacities. And my husband was president twice.
Oh,
so
wow.
You know what that means. You are right there beside the president.
So you've been president several times.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I mean, it's great that you and your husband are involved in an organization. That's always so wonderful when both people are involved in an organization. It makes the work sweeter sometimes. And then sometimes because my husband and I are both involved in the same organization, sometimes it's great. And sometimes I'm like, oh Lord. But yeah, most times it's great. So that's amazing. So how long has JAAOCF, how long has the organization existed and why was it started?
It has been around from in the 80s, I believe 85 or 86. Mm-hmm. It was started by one individual, this according to oral history, saying that in Central Florida, she felt that there was a need for a civic organization where people of Caribbean descent could come together. So she invited people she knew who were of Caribbean descent and people who were more interested in being around Caribbean people. There were non-Caribbean people. And together at our home one afternoon, they decided to form an organization that was called the Caribbean American Association. And in that association was people of Caribbean descent and people who were non-Caribbean as well. Over the years, the association evolved until we have been the Jamaican American Association for a while now. And we are a 501c3 organization. Our membership is open to people who are Jamaican by birth or Jamaican by ancestry or by marriage, or people who are friends of Jamaica, because we have in our group individuals who are non-Jamaican, and we have people who have never lived in Jamaica. So
right. They just love Jamaica.
Yes.
So do you have to live in Florida to join or support the organization?
I think when we started out, the belief was we needed to be in Florida because we have regular monthly meetings and this was face-to-face.
Okay.
Now with virtual, that has expanded what we can do. So I believe the thinking now, though it is not in our bylaws yet, the thinking is that our membership can be outside of the state of Florida. Okay. We're guided with the work we do by, believe it, we have bylaws that direct everything we do. Yes. It has to be in the bylaws.
As you should.
And we have a strategic plan, and we have various committees, and we are very, very structured, and we follow parliamentary procedures and Robert's rules, etc. So the thinking is, yes, we can, but right now it is not happening yet.
Okay. So right now, to join your organization, you have to live in some part of Florida. It doesn't have to be Central Florida. You just have to live in a state. Okay. Well, I mean, that's still a start. And I think that the point that you guys are thinking about expanding to beyond Florida to include other states will go a long way to really to the sustainability of the organization, because we know with COVID, so many things have shifted.
Right.
And folks are really getting connected online, even if they live miles and miles apart, they still get connected online. So I think what you're doing, if someone doesn't have something like this that exists where they live, I'm sure there are people who would love to be connected to an organization where they can still be somehow connected to their ancestry or to their homeland. So that's I'm happy to hear that the organization is considering opening it up, membership up to folks who don't live in Florida. But as far as supporting the organization through donations, you can donate from anywhere. Doesn't matter. Okay.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, that's cool. So what are some of the projects? What are some of your favorite projects that the organization has done in the time you've been? Maybe, one or two of your favorite projects that the organization has done while you've been a member.
As an educator, I'm pulled to anything education. So scholarships is one of my favorite projects. We started out giving a certain number of scholarships, and now we have expanded the number that we offer. We want to move beyond what we're currently doing, but we have to stay within our funds. And since we started giving scholarships to students who are graduating from high school to going to college, or students who are already in college, we last year made a change in that because we have a strict scholarship application form. Okay. But last year, because of the pandemic, we had to make changes to meet needs. So we gave scholarships to kids in high school, kids in elementary school, kids all over the place. And the scholarships at that time last year was not just money. We gave devices, because what we heard that they were asking for laptops, etc. So some of us got the chance to make trips to Jamaica because it was difficult to sometimes mail it. Mm-hmm. So we made trips, delivered personal laptop, met them, we stayed at the hotel, gave the laptop, did whatever we needed to do, and come back as soon as opportunities were opened up to travel. So yes, we're trying to meet needs. So the scholarships and also providing educational opportunities based on what we see people need, money management, stories about Garvey, health fair. We're going into doing a vaccination for October. Whatever we see our community, the need is at the time, we do that. Also, last year, we were able to help with a toy drive for kids who were shut in based on the needs. So we do many more, but as you said, just pick my favorite.
And you know what I love about what you said, out of everything that you said, because I'm very supportive of education as well. But one of the things I love that you said was the organization is led by what the need of the community is. Yes, you have a mission. It's always education. It's always a focal point. But you are not pigeonholing your work just one form of one way of supporting education, that you are really led by what the community, what you see people need, what people tell you they need. So I think that's a really good point to make when it comes to even longevity of an organization. You have to evolve and you have to shift. And the mission stays the same, but how you fulfill that mission will vary, and it may vary every year. And so I think that's so important. That you guys are doing that, and that you have that mindset from the very beginning. That's how you're going to work. So that's really amazing. So over the course of the time, and I don't know if you know from the beginning of when the organization started, or maybe the time that you've been involved, do you know about how much scholarship funds or number of scholarships that have been awarded over that time?
I didn't do, I wrote it down yesterday, but I haven't counted to see how many we have awarded.
Okay. But this is something that is done annually, or is it done throughout, a couple times throughout the year?
It's annually. We have a regular scholarship award, and we usually have it combined with our celebration of Jamaica independence. We make it a grand affair. We usually have it at the Roseland Hotel or some big hotel in Orlando, where we usually have guests coming from far and wide, and they spend overnight at the Roseland, and we have a big gala event, etc. Yeah, last year it was just virtual though.
I know, but I know the next time when you guys start doing it in person again, I'm there. Any reason to go to a hotel?
And for Jamaica's 60th next year, plan for that.
Jamaica is 60 next year. That's a big, awesome, cool. So God willing, next year you'll have an in-person.
Yes.
That is okay. So I'm definitely need to get that date from you when we get off. So to date, what would you say is the organization's greatest accomplishment to date? If you were to think of one thing.
I think our greatest accomplishment has been awarding scholarships, because there are kids who look forward to that. That is why, despite not using the regular routes for raising funds, we felt that we were committed to this cause. We would have disappointed the kids if we didn't do that. And to know that we were able to use creative means, thank you, Rachel, for some of that, to find money to give to these youngsters who were dependent on us, I think that is one of our greatest accomplishments.
And to have done it for so long, every year consistently, and then even during COVID, you were able to pivot, and still you may not have been able to necessarily offer the amount as in dollar amount, but you were still able to pivot and offer some assistance, not just to the population you normally would, but expand it a little bit out to other students who are getting an education who may also need assistance, and then the laptops. So, I definitely agree that the consistency of the organization to give scholarships and staying committed to that mission. If nothing else happens, we have to make sure that we are helping to fund. We are helping to fund the education of our future. And then when we need to make adjustments, or when we need to pivot, we are open to doing that, because we're so committed to making sure our children are educated. So I would say ditto on that one too, that I would, just listening to you, I would say that's definitely a great accomplishment, considering there's so many organizations that they're swayed so much by what's happening. They're not very stable sometimes. And so they're here, they're there, and everywhere. And there's sometimes not a consistency to what they do, especially for so long. You're talking about since the 80s.
Yes.
Right.
And if I may add to, apart from the scholarships, we do assist with early childhood education, where we work with basic schools to fund programs that they need money for. And last year we did a coffee grove in Manchester, and they too got devices because they were explaining that they needed for the teachers. This is
right.
It's but they needed the resource to reach out to teachers. And we also did Brownstone some time ago, and we did the Author Wind. For next year, we're looking for some projects, and we're at the planning stage for that, where we will continue with funding schools based on what they need,
right,
which is in addition to our regular scholarships.
So that is wonderful. So we talked about some of your favorite projects that the organization has done. We talked about, you know, what you would say is a major accomplishment of the organization. So I want to shift a little. If you could identify one major challenge that the organization is having right now, what would you say that was?
A major challenge, and I think it probably has to relate to the times, is raising funds. Raising funds, and we want to grow our membership. The traditional way of growing membership may not be applicable to what is happening right now within this climate. So we are trying to find creative ways to do that, increase our membership and raise more funds.
And so in raising funds, so you guys have your membership. You have memberships that folks in Florida can join the organization. What are a few other ways that people can support monetarily that you guys are doing?
People can support projects by identifying which project they want to support. We have our donation site, mostly PayPal. It is a tax-exempt donation. We had people with the scholarship writing checks, and they receive receipt that they can claim tax credit for that. That is basically how we're doing it now, mostly through donations.
Okay, and that's the website, right?
Yes, our website, yes.
Okay, great. So for those of you who are watching right now, so 2 ways that you can support at the moment is, one, if you live in Florida, join, right? Become a member of the organization and have your membership dollars help to fund the education of our children. And then 2, if you don't live in Florida, but you're really passionate about what you hear Barbara talking about, you're very passionate about education and our children being educated, go to the website, and I'll say this again at the end of this interview. Go to the website, which you see right behind Barbara. It's been up the whole interview. Just go to that website and make a donation. And I will tell you, as a nonprofit consultant, and I always tell clients this, you don't have to ask each person to give a huge amount. In Jamaica, they say every mickle make a muckle, right? So every little bit adds up. And so whatever the amount is that you can give, everyone gives a little, is going to add up so that our children can continue to be educated. And I'll repeat this again at the end. So you've been the president of this organization for how long now?
It is just my 2nd year. President you're given a chance to serve 3 years. Okay. And after that, you have to, but it's usually done by election each year. Gotcha. Your length of service is 1 year. You can go 3 consecutive, and that's it. So I'm in my 2nd year as president. Okay,
so you've been president for in your 2nd year. You've had several leadership roles in this organization, and I know at work you have leadership roles and responsibilities as well. So as a leader in all these different capacities, what is one lesson that you have learned about leadership?
I think it is understanding various personalities and knowing people's strength, and also allowing people to trust you. That is very important to me, that whenever I interact with anyone, I want to make sure that I can build that relationship where they know that they can speak to me honestly and they can trust me. I make sure that my interaction with them establishes that trust. And you mentioned work. At work, in working with, I'll say, colleagues, it is not just about the job, it is about who you are outside of that. Because if you're not healthy with what is happening outside of that, it takes away from how well you can do your work. So whatever I can do to support teachers or individuals to make sure we are able to shine and use our strength together, that is what I work at. Within my association, I try to find strength again, and we do have some very talented, yes, some very, I am blessed with that, some very talented members of this association. I won't start listing names because if I do, I may miss a name, but we are blessed. We have some long-standing members who know the ropes, and I've been a member for a long time, but there are some members who have been a part of the association longer than I am. So I use their information, I listen, and I learn. Even though I'm president, I never ever know it all. In my regular job, even though I'm in the position where I am, I still listen and learn because everyone needs to feel a part of that team. Absolutely. And everyone's contribution is valued. So it is, if I can come back, that your individuals that you're working with trust you, value their strength, and you let them feel a part of the process, and it is recognized. Whenever something is done, it is recognized. It's not me taking ideas and running away and say, oh, I did this. Yeah.
Let me tell you, you just said a word on this here. It's almost like in Sunday service, I'm ready to say, pass the offering basket. That trust when it comes to leadership is so important, especially in nonprofit work where the folks who are doing the work are volunteers. Not to say that, in paid, if you have staff, it's not the same, because it is. But when you have volunteers who are given their time and they're not getting any compensation for it, that trust is so important in having them feel valued and helping them find the place in the organization that's their best fit, right? So really looking at not what they can't do, but what do you bring to the table and how can we use that for the betterment of the organization, but also so you can shine and you can feel good and you can feel that you're a part of this. But all that cannot happen unless that trust is built, where they trust you that you have their best intentions at heart, or they trust that you're committed to the organization, that you're not out for your own kind of personal, you have your personal plan or your personal agenda, but you really are committed to the organization and they trust that. So that trust, yes, that is definitely a significant part of leadership, especially among the nonprofit and also among Jamaicans. I started doing work in Jamaica almost 8 years ago. And let me tell you, that's one of the first things that someone told me is Rachel, you're not going to get anywhere in the work that you're doing unless people trust you. It does not matter where you're from or, we come from America. No, if they have not, the community has not built trust with you, you can do whatever you want. People are not going to come. They're not going to support it. They're not, because you have to build that trust. You have to build that trust. So I agree. That's definitely a starting point.
Thank you.
For so much success as a leader is definitely trust. So before I let you go, I have one more question for you. So why do you think it's important for Jamaicans in the diaspora to be engaged and involved in organizations like yours?
I think one of the important reasons is probably the reason that the association was started, that connection. As Jamaicans away from Jamaica, you want to feel connected to the roots. Barbara talked about the people knowing where you're coming from. That is so important. And I think when we are among Jamaican and we get the chance to, you're not at work anymore, so you relax and you be your authentic self. You speak your dialect, you have those little sayings, and you can say that. That is something that nourishes your soul, that helps to strengthen your identity. I also think that being a part of a group or being a part of an association that is based on the Jamaican diaspora helps us to have a voice. Unity is strength. The more we come together, is the more others will listen to us. I remember years ago, there was some hurricane or something in Jamaica. I'm sorry, yes. And the local media sought us out. My husband was a president then, and they saw that the Jamaican American Association came to interview us, etc. And we were in touch with the Consul General to get guidance from the Consul General on how to handle the situation, because we were the known Jamaican American Association in Central Florida. So having that connection, having that history of being that association gives you a voice that others will listen to. And I think too, when we are part of this organization of members of the Jamaican diaspora, it gives us a chance as a body to network with other diaspora group where we can identify common projects in Jamaica that we can work on. We can learn lessons from other groups because we are one group here. We can maybe in another country, they are attempting a project similar to what we would like. So we can learn from them and have something to pattern. And I think now that we have representatives of the Jamaican diaspora, because I think Dr. Allen is our representative, there is a group he can speak to, and if we have issues, we can have him communicate to us what Jamaica needs. So we're not working blindly. And as I said, in Central Florida, we try to cater to what the community needs. When we're working with Jamaica, we want to know, and even with JD Tan and the Jamaican diaspora, we want to know from the bigger group what we need to do, because sometimes we think somebody may need sneakers and they don't need.
Right. That's true.
Yes. And even helping us use our strength, because we may be here thinking, okay, yes, the person needs sneakers, but let's go about it this way.
Right.
And that's not the way. We're so frustrated working the way we know, which may not be the easiest route. So, yes.
Well, Barbara, you dropped some gems tonight, and I learned some stuff in this interview too. Like I knew a little bit about you because we are in JD Watt together, but I definitely learned some new stuff about you today. And so this is good. I am definitely excited for this interview to premiere, because I think education is so important. So important. And it's not just, going off to college, but education, like we said, about life skills that folks need to just survive in life. And then not everyone's going to go to college. So there are other skills, trade schools, and being an entrepreneur. There are other ways that you can make a living, even if you decide after high school that college is not for you. So I think the whole gamut of education, not just school education, but educating folks to be able to be successful in life, period, is amazing and definitely needed in our community, both here and in Jamaica. So I'm really glad that Jamaican American Association of Central Florida, that you guys are doing that work when it comes to education. So thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you, Rachel, for having me.
Absolutely.
It has always been a pleasure. Any kind of interaction I do with you, it is a pleasure. Thank you for the work you do. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So folks, thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of Jam Talk. If you want to support or get in contact with the Jamaican American Association of Central Florida Incorporated, www.jaaocf.com is right there on Barbara's flag. Hang on the wall. It's been there the whole time. So you can go to their website and check them out. They do a lot of work. Like what Barbara mentioned during this interview is only the tip of the iceberg. They do a lot of work when it comes to the Central Florida community, but also supporting Jamaica. They need our support. So go to the website, check them out. You can also get their other contact information, whether it's email, phone, or their social media platforms. Also, if you are watching this on YouTube, their information is going to be below this video. So if you're not going to remember this, you're just like, Rachel, I just want to click something. It'll be below this email. All their contact information will be below this email. So you can just, below this video, so you can just click it. If you're watching this on Facebook, their information will be above the video. So at the top of this video will be all the information for Jamaican American Association of Central Florida. We can get in contact with them. And then the day that this video premieres, the day that you're watching this, we're also going to dedicate that day on the Jamaica Diaspora Worldwide Organization Task Force Facebook page. That day will be dedicated to JAAOCF. And so you're going to learn a bit more about them. Yay! So go over to our Facebook page as well, and you are going to learn some more about this amazing organization, the work that they're doing, and why it's absolutely important for you, not just to watch these interviews, these Jam Talks, and say, oh, that's nice. It's wonderful that so many people are being involved. No, you need to get involved too. You need to get involved too. So if you're seeing there's problems in your community, problems in Jamaica, put your money where your mouth is, right? Get involved. And if you don't want to get involved and do the work, guess what? Barbara, myself, and all these amazing organizations you've seen, we'll do the work. Send us the funds or the donations that we need of in kind, and we'll go. We'll do the work, right? So there's lots of ways for you to be involved. So once again, thank you guys so much for joining Barbara and I will see you guys again next time on the next episode of Jam Talk. Have a great week. Bye.